Thursday night suck up. Yeah, probably not actually going to call this that, but maybe it work better on Friday. But this is something I'm going to start doing. I'll figure out a name for it after these like standalone games. So like Thursday night just happened, Monday night, Sunday night, that type of stuff. Um, Kind of when everybody's watched the same game. So to see basically, I'm going to go over how I predicted the game and if I can defend the positions I took or not, right? Because the whole point of this obviously is eventually to get right, but that's not going to happen right away. So for now, it's to learn and see what I fucked up and what I can learn from it, right? And this way, it's one less video to include in my weekly review. So yeah, so I felt pretty strong on the Patriots +5. Obviously, did not happen. And then I said the under was a side, but I didn't really think it was bettable. And honestly, if you look at what happened in that game, so obviously Patriots +5 did not happen at all. But the game script, a lot of it, I would argue I was pretty correct on, with some just important distinctions. So um, I guess in the general outline of things, so we'll see how I do this. For now, I'll just kind of go back through the way I did in the original video. When you talk about the Patriots offense versus the Rams defense, right? So, I mean, really, I was right, right? Because they were, when they were even, you saw they were able to run the ball really consistently. And well, like they were constantly, especially in the first half. So I'm going to focus on the first half and then get into what I think happened in the second half. But they were constantly in the Rams territory, right, in the first half. I mean, past the 50 all the time. But I did some things that were mistakes. One, I'm still learning how to get coaching worked into this, and I assumed too much about the Patriots' offensive coaching. Because I figured they would lean on James White, which they didn't at all, and I think they were completely. I think you saw that they were completely wrong not to do so because he was the only one with a real advantage in that game. Um, and then I was wrong about them in the red zone. But I talk about it in that video specifically that I just kind of assumed that Josh McDaniels was going to be able to figure it out down there, which was just a stupid thing to do. There's no reason to bet on something like that, and I think that's the lesson going forward. Is if it's not a like established coaching advantage, like is on the other side of this ball, which I didn't really talk about, then just don't do it. I think is the lesson there. But yeah, I mean they were able to run the ball well while they, could reasonably run the ball until they were so far down in the second half. And yeah, I mean I talked specifically about as far as the passing goes, I talked specifically that Cam is bad, which he was, and they would not have any separation on the outside at any point, which they didn't, right? Now, I talked about N'Keal Harry having a catch and run, which did not happen. Yeah, that was wrong, but I get it. I mean, I don't know if yeah, that was probably just wrong on that one. Which fair enough. I'm not gonna be perfect right away, like I said. So then I talked about Aaron Donald being good still, but not crazy. And actually, I think that kind of bore out because what happened in the first game, right? So this game is close, and the Patriots have the ball in the Rams territory, and there's that Kenny Young. He takes a screen pass 80 yards the other way for a pick six. So there, what can you take from that, right? You could take like, oh wow, look at this amazing play by Kenny Young. That's not what happened. Or you can kind of say like, damn, that's kind of lame because I talk about it in the whole thing, right? That there's a ton of danger in this game of really stupid turnovers, and I guess in my head, although I was kind of talking evenly in that video, I more or less just assumed that would benefit the Patriots, which was just a dumb thing to do because it went the other way, right? The Patriots get a pick six, but obviously he's called down, and on the Rams one, Aaron Donald. I mean, listen, that pick six was completely caused by Aaron Donald. That grab he does, being aware of that running back running by him right there is fucking amazing. Um, so because I just want to mention that because I will. There are definitely things you can find that are wrong. The stuff about it I said about Kenny Young, not one of them. He was not good in this game when they were able to run the ball, which was my whole problem with him. Right, he just makes two plays, which again, one completely Aaron Donald causing the pick. Now he did still. He would have blown up that screenplay, right? Which is good on him, but that's not why I thought he was bad. I thought he was bad because he can't defend the run very well, which you saw. And then he gets a cleanup sack in the second half, like because Cam Newton holds the ball for 8 seconds. Which again, I don't care. That's not a reflective thing of his performance level. Um, so I just want to mention that because the announcers started talking up Kenny Young, and he's still not good. But anyway, I did underestimate Aaron Donald, to be honest with you. And yeah, like I think the whole problem was I just assumed too much of Josh McDaniels, which is just I just shouldn't you shouldn't assume that much from coaching. But overall, I mean, from the Patriots side of things, I don't really feel super wrong at all. Outside of yeah, I should have considered more how they were actually going to get the ball in the end zone for sure. Then on the Rams side, again, so they end up running the ball really well in this game, right? But that's over like a billion attempts. Cam Akers gets 29 rushing attempts in this game, and I talked about right in the prediction that the Patriots. I thought they were going to be able to stop the run reasonably while it was close because I figured the Rams would have to throw the ball, which they could not do. But I went the other way with that one where I didn't assume enough because Sean McVay obviously just knew that Jared Goff was not going to be able to function in that game, which he wasn't. I mean, when Jared Goff was throwing the ball, he wasn't very good either, right? He was 16 to 25 for 140 yards, a touchdown and a pick. He wasn't very good, and if you would have seen for sure, I promise if this game would have been closer, like if the Patriots would have got the pick six early in the game, that his problems would have showed up more and more. Now they didn't, fair for sure. But I just want to mention that. So yeah, the Rams they get a ton of rushing attempts, and I did for sure on me did underestimate their two-year offensive line. I still kind of have pictures in my head of last year when they were so bad, and because now yeah, like I said, I actually like it not a ton, but I actually like David Edwards, sorry, is their guard, and Austin Corbett. And I assumed too much of the Patriots front seven. But I know I talk about how they were lack of athletes, and you saw I said the Rams were going to have chunk runs in this game, and Cam Akers had quite a few of them, and that's how he got to whatever 171 yards, which is a fucking lot. But it was with multiple really long gains because down and down, I mean they were still pretty good, better than I thought they would be. But um, yeah, like I said, I don't feel super bad about that either because Jared Goff wasn't very good, and it was that pick six that I don't want to say fucked everything up because I knew that was a danger going into the game, right? The stupid turnover was going to happen. I just assumed that they would happen the other way, which is just dumb. That's something that is too far down the road of predicting like individual details to get into. And I had them at 10 to 17 points. They end up at 24, right? But that's I mean the Patriots go three now like seven consecutive times in the second half, and that makes a ton of sense because again, it's obvious the Patriots were going to be able to run the ball. So overall, I was definitely wrong in terms of the pass plus five, but really, I don't feel that bad about it. The lesson again is don't assume stuff from coaching either direction, and like make it part of it, and don't bet on turnovers in a turnover heavy game. Although there was only two in this one, but like I mean, theoretically, right? If both teams are throwing the ball, especially the Rams, I think there's a lot more. But yeah, don't assume turnovers and turnover heavy game are going to benefit your team, which is just a stupid thing to do. Yeah, so I just want to get on here and see if I can defend my positions, which I think in this game I definitely can to a point. But we'll see. And like I said, I'll figure out a better name for this series going forward.